It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. I'm Jeff Grubb. I work over at Giant Bomb. Got my channel here, Jeff Grubb's Game Mess. I like to talk about games every once in a while. This time I want to talk about Star Wars Outlaws from Ubisoft and developer Massive Entertainment, known for The Division. Most recently did that Avatar game last year that I thought was pretty okay. I didn't spend enough time with it, but I thought it was okay. I've been excited about Outlaws since they showed it off at Summer Game Fest last year. I thought it looked really promising at that point. And that opinion hasn't really changed the more they've shown it off. I think that Massive is a very talented studio, and I am a Star Wars mark, so I think that definitely is part of it, although Star Wars mark is maybe inappropriate. That's like saying, oh, I'll eat up any slop they give me. I have a lot of criticisms of most modern Star Wars things. I don't like a lot of the Dave Filoni stuff for the most part. Andor was amazing. Everything else kind of a problem. I'm a Last Jedi fan, so you could turn this video off now. I'm sure that upsets you. I think Star Wars Outlaws looks pretty promising. That's where I am at with that game right now. I see a lot of people out there who are very upset about this game. It is generating a lot more controversy than I would expect, and I think part of that is it's a Star Wars game, and I think we have a certain sort of expectation now from a lot of grifters online that you come into a Star Wars game, start complaining, start saying it's going to be terrible, it's going to destroy the industry, it's made by the woke mob, and you'll be able to make some money off that by monetizing your Twitter account, YouTube, the same old thing over and over and over again. That said, I think there are some legitimate criticisms to level against this game, and I think that's what I want to talk about. How mad should anyone get about Star Wars Outlaws at this point? I'm split on this, because I think, on the one hand, getting upset or mad about this game before you know if you even really want to play it, before we know how the quality of it, seems like a vast waste of time. On the other hand, the things that some people are complaining about, it's useful to lob these criticisms at Ubisoft. The main thing is the price of the premium editions that include some extra content. So Star Wars Outlaws is a $70 game, I believe, the standard price for most new AAA releases these days. But there is a $110 and $130 version. Those prices might be wrong. Those versions include a special mission that you can get through Jabba the Hutt. Now, Jabba the Hutt is a character that will exist in the game regardless of what version you buy. You get the $70 version. You're still going to get plenty of Jabba the Hutt missions. There is an extra mission that is available at launch exclusively to people who get this, the more expensive version. My immediate reaction to this is, yeah, okay. Capitalism is trying to manipulate us again to spend more money. That's what this is. And I'm sort of numb to that at this point. And so I am just like, okay, yeah, I'm never going to buy a $110 version of most video games. So if I want to buy this game at launch, I will get the $70 version. To that, people react, and I think this is completely fair. They say, this is content that is done. They have specifically cut it out so they can put it into a higher tier version and charge you more money. Yeah, you're right. You got it right. And if you want to take those criticisms and yell them at Ubisoft, I think I support you 100% in that. I just am personally not getting too upset about it. Everything is always trying to manipulate us. That's the whole idea of how capitalism works, is you're trying to extract as much money from someone while giving them the least amount of stuff. That's the whole thing. That's how the entire system is meant to function. So when a company comes along and does one of these tricks, I'm just not that surprised. Also, this is an old trick from Ubisoft at this point. Assassin's Creed Mirage had a similar thing where there was a mission that was exclusive to the more expensive versions, and no one talked about that because at this point it's like, God, do we want more missions in Assassin's Creed? The whole thing about Mirage, the whole sales pitch of Assassin's Creed Mirage from Ubisoft was, this is going to be a smaller version of Assassin's Creed with less stuff to do, and that's a positive. And everyone's like, yes, that is a positive. So when they're like, okay, well, we're going to put an extra thing back in there, aren't you excited and to spend more money? And some people are always going to be yes, like 1% of people. I have no idea what the number is, but that's the idea here. They're trying to find the people who want a reason to spend more money and give them a couple of check boxes. And whether or not they actually ever play those missions doesn't really matter. That's how I view that content, as stuff that was probably better off on the cutting room floor, a mission that is not crucial to the overall experience. And so if they want to try to manipulate us, that is their right, and it's all right to ignore it. What it comes back to is these companies will continue to try to get away with more and more and more. There's a slippery slope argument of, if people don't make noise about this move, next time it'll be even more egregious and more egregious and more egregious time after time. And I think that is where I like stand back and say, okay, it's not bothering me, but I'm also okay with a certain amount of fan fervor of trying to remind these companies that we're paying attention and we're pretty savvy when you're trying to manipulate us. So if you are online and you are saying, hey, I hate this and I'm kind of less interested in this game now because of this, I support that. But I'm like, it's just like there's some nuance there for me, right? There's a nuance to this argument of how angry to get or how upset. It's at the end of the day, this content almost certainly is not going to make or break this game. And frankly, I will probably never play it, and I won't notice it. I won't notice that it's missing. How am I supposed to get upset about that? Especially knowing that with that Assassin's Creed Mirage content, I think 6, 7, 8 weeks later, something like that, like a month or two after the game came out, that content, you could get it without having to buy the more expensive version or spending any money at all. They put it in like the Ubisoft store that you could use Ubisoft points on. You get Ubisoft points for doing stuff in games and buying games and stuff like that. And I bet most people didn't notice that because, again, nobody cared. Nobody was actually asking for that content. I think here, putting the name Jabba the Hutt on it, it being Star Wars, so there's already increased scrutiny. And the fact that Star Wars is not in the position Assassin's Creed was in, where we do want things that are smaller in the Assassin's Creed universe. People kind of want Star Wars to be as big as possible because we get these games so infrequently. I think those combination of factors makes this feel a little bit different. And if this is the one you notice and this is the one you care about, I'm not saying you have to like keep the same energy. That's such a silly argument most of the time because people care about what they care about. And if you care about it this time, and you didn't care about Assassin's Creed, who cares? Yeah, though you feel differently about two different things. Weird. It's weird how that happens. I'm sorry, I'm like talking so fast. I just drank a yerba mate, or yerba mate, as they say in Argentina. Jackson put a little picture of yerba mate there. Shout outs to Jackson, who I think is going to edit this for me. The bottom line is, Star Wars Outlaws is just another video game. And these companies are just trying their same old tricks. And we sort of have rejected so many of the tricks that they have tried before, loot boxes and battle passes to a certain extent. We're starting to reject those, and horse armor, microtransactions, all these things. These things keep popping up. They keep trying to fit them into the game, but the core of the game seems to be pretty well protected from the effects of those things. But they have accepted that they can only push that stuff so far. And then on the margins, they try to get away with what they can still get away with. I am not too upset personally about anything that's going on with Star Wars Outlaws. I hope that game comes out. I play it. It's good. I love it. And I can recommend it wholeheartedly. No idea at this point. And two, I think I'm grateful when people are willing to get upset because I think it keeps these companies in check. I am 41 years old. I got 2 kids and very little time. The idea of spending it online, yelling at a corporation and saying, hey, you're trying to manipulate me. And they're like, no, we're not. When we all know that's what every company's trying to do all the time. I can only spend so much time on that. And frankly, I could spend zero seconds on that. But when other people do, and they keep it mostly reasonable and rational, and they're not yelling about, again, the woke mind virus, making women look like women. I'm pretty grateful that people are still willing to come out and criticize these companies. And because I benefit from that in the end, it keeps these companies in check. So that's where I'm at with Star Wars Outlaws. I'm still pretty excited about it. If it comes out as they say it's coming out with, hey, it's going to have this content in the more expensive tiers, whatever, I will ignore that like I always have. And I honestly would never even thought about it for a second had people not started shouting about it. If it bothers you more than that, though, this is not me saying you're wrong. I think you're allowed to be as mad about Star Wars Outlaws as you need to be. And if that means that you are not going to buy it or you're going to wait for it to go on sale, whatever, and let's admit it, it's a Ubisoft game. everyone's going to wait for it to go on sale. Everyone's going to wait for it to go on sale. That's what we've done with all these games over and over again. We know they go on sale about 2-3 months after they come out.
No, don't do it.
Then do that. That's fine. I think we can probably accept that to a certain extent that games are going to keep doing this, and every once in a while making a little bit of a ruckus at the same time. It's worth it, and it gets results, and we should keep at it. I think that's going to do it. I just wanted to get these thoughts out onto video. Thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.